All right. Welcome in, everybody. Special guest today is one and only Cowboys defense extraordinaire,
You could
Ben.
call me a truther, I guess.
Yeah.
I sat alone in my opinion, and here I sit high upon my throne that the Cowboys DST has built me. So yeah, I I'm not a doctor, but I'm here to serve some medicine.
37 points.
Yeah. I guess is that what the final tally was? I guess I just stopped counting after a while. I guess it was 37.
You know what the
Yeah.
funny thing is, though? Still not enough to get you a win.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I can address that. I don't know if you want to wait until we get into
No,
the
no, go
matchups,
go
but
right ahead.
so I played it safe last week, benching Bijan or not Bijan. I don't know why I get them confused. Brees Hall, benching Brees Hall. First game back from the ACL. Stop. Sorry, my kid's right here. I benched Brees Hall. First game back from the ACL, and yeah, that bit me in the ass. I think I played Rashad White over him, and it really, man, just the pain watching Brees Hall break those two big ones.
Now you got Khalil Herbert in
Especially
over.
that I think that 83-yard scamper. Yeah, okay, Khalil Herbert. Sorry, I'm in a few leagues.
Yeah.
But especially that 83-yard scamper, I think that would have won me the week. But
Well,
yeah,
the
so
I would have played. Well, you know what? No, I probably wouldn't have.
you got to look at it in the context of I didn't see Brees Hall until like obviously after seeing him like play, he looks fine, looks great, he still looks explosive. But first game back from an ACL tear and like he was limited throughout the week. I mean, there was a little bit of smoke there. You know what I mean? It wasn't just
Yeah.
me like not wanting to play Brees Hall. I wanted to play Brees Hall, but
No, I mean I get that. Like I probably would have done that for sure, but I was gonna say Richardson over Geno because even if you played Brees Hall over Khalil Herbert, it was only a point difference.
yeah,
No, 4 point difference, and that
right.
may or may not. I could do the math, but I'm not going to.
But even then, like Gino, I theoretically had a great matchup against the Rams. I mean, they don't even have uh, I can't. I'm blanking. Jalen Ramsey. They don't even have Jalen
Mm-hmm.
Ramsey anymore. Like that secondary should be ass. But I mean,
Apparently not.
yeah, apparently not. Not as juicy of a matchup as I thought. But yeah, it kind of blew up in my face. Lost by like what 4 or 5 points at the end.
Yeah, like
4 points.
4 points ish.
It
Which
got close though, man. I mean, it's kind of crazy that it even got that close.
yeah, you were the well the yeah you only had the defense left, and then it crept way up there.
Yeah, but I mean, GG's to Matt. He had a good week.
Yeah, you were the closest matchup by far. Um, Tiff and Tim kind of were close-ish. Lance and Kim, close-ish. The blowout of the week, though. Let's just go ahead and get this out of the way. This is fucking hilarious. So I rarely started out the year with a win. Uh, John, who we will talk about a lot this episode, I do feel bad for him. Kelsey out, Cup out, Watson out.
Yeah, his team's hurting, man. It's do you remember the other night when the Chiefs and Lions game ended? I think it was Mike Tirico said, and obviously a lot of Lions fans were pissed about this. He said, "Oh, this win obviously comes with an asterisk because Chris Jones is sitting out
Well, I was
for the
pissed
contract
off about
situation, and
yeah,
then Kelsey's out." It almost feels like that, where like once his team's fully healthy, it's just a very different team.
yeah, but no one will take this win from me.
Oh yeah, no, sure. Not trying to give you an asterisk or anything, but maybe just
Everything in
slightly.
my life comes with a fucking asterisk. So,
Right,
but
naturally.
so that matchup, which one did we not cover? Ryan, or sorry, Big Time Bex. Oh wait, that's this week. Who the fuck did Ryan play last week?
Ryan played to Infinity and Bijan. I think
Yeah,
that's
so the two
yeah,
Ryans
the new
played
guy.
each other.
Yep.
Um, wasn't he? He was the highest scoring of the week, I think. I don't think I've actually looked at this yet. Oh, Aaron Jones and Bijan. Yeah, the
Yeah.
Jets defense got 22. I didn't realize they got that much.
There's something I forget every year about Aaron Jones, and just at the beginning of the year, he is so good for fantasy. Like, I don't know what it is. It feels like it's like the third or fourth year in a row. I just like I either underdraft him everywhere, just for whatever narrative's going on that year, whether it's AJ Dillon coming in or just whatever. And
Aaron
just he is so good at the beginning of every season.
Aaron Jones is one of those players that like he's really good, then he's really bad, then he's really good, then he's really bad. And at the end of the year, you're like, oh, he fucking sucks. He did nothing for my team. But yet he
Sure,
finishes as
right.
like the running back 10 on the year.
It's a sour taste by the end of the year, but man, the start of the year is so nice for the
Right.
Aaron Jones owners.
Um, I do want to make a couple of apologies, not to Ben. We'll get to that in a minute. I shit all over Calvin Ridley post draft. I think I was wrong. I also shit on Matt's Brian Robinson in favor of Antonio Gibson, and I also believe in that scenario that I was wrong.
Are you sure? Are you sure? I mean, Antonio Gibson looked like a world beater week 1. Are you sure you want to go out on a limb
Yeah,
and give up on him now?
I do want to give up on him now. I don't think the coaching. I still think that Antonio Gibson, if you just plopped them both on a different team with a different coach, that Antonio Gibson's the more talented running back. But I just think with that coaching staff, they don't like him.
Yeah, I'm definitely not a big Brian Robinson truther
No,
or
I'm
a
not
believer.
either. But Matt was, talking about how he thinks it's Brian Robinson, and I basically told him that he was completely wrong, and it turns out I was wrong.
That tends to happen. I mean, sometimes,
Right.
especially, I'll wait. I'll wait.
The next thing I want to get into is let's go into real quick the waiver wire from this week.
Yeah,
So
man, some surprises on that for sure.
yeah, so Tyler Algier goes to Tim for $6. Romeo Dobbs goes to Ben for $9. Kyron Williams goes for 16. I was a little bit salty about that. I wanted Kyron Williams, but I should have known that 7 probably was not enough. And Puka Nakua goes for half of this man's budget. The
It's
next
crazy.
offer was 26 by Ben. So, what what was your thought process on $26? Because I'm trying to get
Man,
into this man's head on 50.
it's crazy because at 26, which is exactly what I bid in my league,
Yeah,
also, and I did get him in that league. But 26 to me felt like I was for sure going to get him, and like I felt like I valued him a lot. I mean, 15 targets is obviously a lot,
mm-hmm.
but just coming in, he looked like a really good talent coming in as a rookie, and especially with Cooper Cup out at least 4 weeks. Obviously, he's on IR, but I mean, there's no telling if he comes off IR after the minimum 4
Right.
games. So
I mean, it's fucking hamstring, so he
yeah, I
will.
felt like I was all in at 26 fab. And I was super surprised to have been outbid, but by that much for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
John he unzipped his pants and just threw it on the table, man. Just,
Oh, for sure. I think
I
50
mean,
was way too
to
much,
be
though.
fair though, and I will give him credit, his team is very hurt, and like specifically as the Cooper Cup owner, maybe he's more valuable to him. But with his team being so banged up, I feel like he's maybe more valuable to his team than anybody's right now. You know what I mean? Like he needed a waiver ad to play probably next week just because his team's so banged up.
Well, see,
If
I was
Kelsey
good.
doesn't play again, obviously Cooper Cup's on IR. He needs some upside in that lineup, and I think that's kind of what Puka represented.
Well, see, for that $50, I was going to make the counter argument to that actually. That having so he's dependent on Cooper Cup, obviously. So Puka comes back, or Cooper Cup comes back, and Puka is essentially not worthless, but he's definitely not worth the $50, or even in my opinion, the 26 bid
Right.
after
At
Cooper
best,
Cup comes back.
at best, he's the number 2 in the offense.
Yeah. So since you have Cooper Cup, you're either you lost Cooper Cup, which is already a loss, a big one. But when Cooper Cup comes back, like you're gonna play Cooper Cup over Puka, right? I mean, that's what I would do.
Sure.
So you essentially spent half of your fab budget for a 4 week rental. Now, granted, or no, 3 week rental. Sorry. Granted, I do agree with you. His team's in rough shape because of the injuries and stuff, so he needs to try to buy wins. But I just feel like that was like way overkill. I know he thought, that he absolutely needed to do that, and I'm not as, on that one. But this one right here, the $30 on Josh Downs. I have no thought
Hold
process
on,
to this
hold
whatsoever.
on. There was $30 bid on Josh. I don't know. I don't know if I saw that one.
Oh, it was by John as well. So this man has spent $80 of his $100, and
How did I not see that?
I don't know.
I looked at Fab offers and
Well,
I
that's
wow, I did not see that.
so it doesn't show up under Fab offers because no one else bid on this man.
To
Not
me
even a
that's
$0
much.
bid.
To me that's okay. That one's much worse. I feel like
Yes.
Puka you can defend a little bit.
Yeah, there's a case for the Puka thing. There's not a case whatsoever for the $30 bid on Josh Downs. I don't know if he meant to put three and added a zero, because like I've done that before where I put like, you know, three in there and then I change it later to zero, but it doesn't want to on the phone at least. It wants to add the zero at the end, and you have to like really pay attention and
Especially
um,
on such a busy waiver night like last night too. Maybe you've got like a lot of different waiver claims in,
yeah.
and it's like you I don't know, you input the wrong digit. I'm not saying that's what happened, but
Yeah, I'm not trying to make excuses, but I mean, goddamn, at that price point, Josh Down needs to be Michael Pittman essentially for that to pay off.
yeah, that's wild. I don't know how I didn't see that before, but that is
Yeah,
wild.
I was say when I woke up and I saw 50 and 30, I was like, what the fuck is going on? And I look and it's both John, and I was like, oh shit, this man is like panicking hardcore.
Before we move on from the waiver thing and Puka specifically, if Cooper Cup, obviously there was the news about him visiting a specialist like across the country,
Hmm.
so there's a little bit of smoke there to maybe the hamstring is a little more significant than maybe we think than just being a tweak. If what I guess how much would Puka have to be the one? So I guess how much would Cooper Cup have to miss for that waiver ad to be worth it? Like if he's out until like week 7 or week 8, is Puka more worth it? Because I feel like he might be like a stud
As
up
long
until Cooper Cup comes back.
as long as Tutu Atwell does not, it's Atwell, right? I know his first name's Tutu.
Yeah,
Oh,
Tutu
okay.
Atwell.
Yeah, as long as Tutu Atwell and Van Jefferson, uh, basically as long as the week one production stays, even if he can repeat that for 4 weeks, I think you can't really argue the $50 just because he needs to buy the wins essentially, or that's what he's trying to do.
Right.
But if he continues this for and Cup is really out like indefinitely for 7 to 8 weeks, then actually this is a
I
genius move.
I just know that as so I have Cooper Cup in another league, and my that was my thought process in bidding up 26 fab on him, which I thought was a lot. But that if Cooper Cup misses any longer than like 4 weeks, 5 weeks, if it gets up to 6 weeks, I'm going to really be hurting for his like for a replacement for that. So I think that's obviously it's almost a little under double the or over double the amount, but
Well,
or
see, I
almost
just
double the
did.
amount. But
I just didn't feel super confident that he was going to do that. I feel like him and Tutu are going to kind of trade weeks and maybe even
it's
I mean,
possible for sure, but I feel like targets are earned, 15 targets. I mean, I don't know. Is the rookie especially coming in?
I,
But
I
anyway,
personally was out on all the Rams this year, other than maybe the running backs because of. I mean, I don't know if it was false information that I saw, but I saw over the offseason that Matt Stafford was having trouble with his neck again. So when the Cooper Cup stuff happened, I just took all of them off my draft board. I picked up Van Jefferson just on a whim in the later round as maybe I'm wrong. And I was right, but I was wrong because if it's not Van Jefferson, it's Puka Nakua. But
did you bid on any Rams this week besides Kyron?
I did put a bid on Puka, but it was for $2.
Okay. Okay,
So
it was like a flyer if nobody else really
yeah,
spent up.
yeah, and I figured at that point I wasn't gonna get him, but I was like, if nobody's paying attention, this is a steal. But
Yeah, definitely.
I I mean, the other than you at 26, the next was Bex put in for 6. So there's a 6, 4, 2, and a 1. So I mean, everybody else had the same kind of mindset except for you and John. So
Yeah, that kind of surprises me.
and nobody else bid on Kyron Williams either.
Yeah, it was just me and you, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's wild.
yeah. I mean, I know Kim's like on the Cam Akers train, but like, I figured
Right. I
somebody
mean,
else would have bid on Kyron too.
as the Cameron Akers truther, I mean, I know she can't bid on the competition, but
And back to the Josh Downs thing, Tim, why did you not bid on your boy? He was right there. I mean, I know you weren't going to bid the $30 to get him, but could at
maybe
least
John
try.
was trying to add him as trade bait for Tim.
Oh, that see now that would all right.
There's
The
some big
the,
brain shit going on here.
the $30 makes sense there. So all right, we're to that point in the show. I will let Ben have the floor to talk about what he wants to talk about.
Okay, it's no secret what's about to be said here. The Dallas Cowboys are going to the Super Bowl. We all know it to be
Oh
true.
God, I did not approve of this part.
It's it's something that's been brewing for months, if not years. The defense is probably the best in the league, if not top three, and arguably. So, with that being said, I came into this year targeting a top tier DSC, specifically the Cowboys, and many of you, my unloyal peasants, roasted the pick in the 11th round. Couldn't believe that I took a DST. Couldn't believe I was so stupid to have taken a DST over some of these other bums that I would have had to keep on my roster all year for them to marginally produce. And wouldn't you know it, in week fucking 1, this very same DST comes through for 37 points and a historic performance. And what do we hear in the crowd? Nothing but crickets. Not a wow, an attaboy, or wow, I'm an idiot, I'm wrong, or I was wrong. Man, none of that. I mean, Tyler's over here just like he can't even, he's beside himself. He can't sleep at night. The man's having nightmares about it. Like
I don't know about that.
he's completely changing his fantasy football strategy because of it. I mean, one singular week and this man is tilting so hard.
I don't
And
know
he
if you,
won last week.
I don't know
He
if you
still
guys
can't
can
sleep.
hear, but Ben's head is growing larger and larger as he talks about this.
So I guess with that being said, I to synthesize my point and trying to kind of just summarize, I was right, and you guys were all wrong. You guys should really you guys respect my position as your king. And yeah, I mean, but the back to back titles should have spoken for itself. Should have. Um, but yeah, I mean, I hope you'll listen now. And I guess we can move on. We'll never forget, but we can move on.
Okay.
And next week, when the Cowboys put up 30 more, we'll go through this all over again. So
Well,
that's all. That's all. We can.
before we move on, let me just throw something out there. I guess after two back-to-back titles, that you get so full of yourself that you think that you can do no wrong, and you finally slip up. I still 100% think that Dallas in the 11th, knowing what I know now, still go when you took them. I knew they were one of the top five best defenses. I knew that.
Okay, I feel like
That was
a big butt's coming. A big butt feels like it's coming.
well, there might be a big but. So I knew they were top five. I didn't. I will admit that I did not think they were going to be the number one on the year. I still don't know if I know that for sure. I'm a little bit more leaning towards that way.
To quote you,
Obviously.
I believe they weren't even the top defense. The Ravens, Steelers, 49ers. 49ers are a good defense.
Yeah.
But I believe they were all better defenses in your opinion. Just if I remember correctly. I mean, I'm not like keeping
No, no,
tabs or anything, but
that's something that I believed before. I still think on the year, personally, that the 49ers will finish better than Dallas on the year.
I feel like the 49ers are the one defense you could say will force turnovers at or near the rate the Cowboys will.
Yeah, I was wrong about Pittsburgh, and the jury's still a little bit out on the Ravens, but I'm leaning more towards the Cowboys, especially after I realized I did not do my due diligence on the schedule for the Cowboys. I don't know if you can see this, Ben, but I'm looking at their schedule for the year. Um, it's looking pretty good. You're gonna have a couple rough weeks here at the beginning. San Francisco, L.A. If the Rams continue to do what they're doing on offense, that might be a little rough. Philly, but then you go back to the 0 point Giants, Carolina, Washington, Seattle might be rough. Philly might, you know. Usually the
Yeah.
Cowboys play Philly a little.
So to get to there though, I mean I'd say the first 4 weeks were pretty juicy. Obviously, we had the Giants week one. We now have the Aaron Rodgers list Jets
Yeah.
lined up for week two, and Zach Wilson, and that man is in danger. I mean, he is in danger. I wonder if the Jets are going to watch film from the Cowboys game, and if Zach Wilson's even going to like. I mean, how do you game plan for that?
You need Mike White. That's what you need.
So, and then they have the Cardinals in week three. I mean, that's just. I mean, dude, those the next 2 weeks should be. They should also be still be big weeks for the Cowboys defense. Like, I don't. I don't know how to quantify their value. I'm not saying that like, oh, I wouldn't trade them for like Stephon Diggs or anything absurd like that. But but are, would you say that going back in the 11th round, if the Cowboys were on the board and you're in front of me, that you would not take the Cowboys DST?
I mean, if I knew that they were going to score 30, I would. But going back to my 3 week old self or 2 week, whatever, long time, however we drafted, yeah, I would not have. I still would not have. If even if you told me just the week one stats, I
Yeah,
probably
I
I
feel
would
like
have
you're out of your mind.
I would have taken shots on some of these other players over the Dallas defense. I would have tried to get them around later, maybe 13. I Because what I was originally planning was round 13 was going to be the defense round because it's 2 rounds earlier. Everybody tries either their last or their second to last pick. I was just completely blown away by the 11th. I mean, I'm pretty I'm pretty sure the way it was going that Michael Thomas was still there when you took Dallas.
Yeah, I would 10 out of 10 prefer Dallas to Michael Thomas.
Oh, dude, I'll literally sit here and read off the players I would have taken over Dallas: Michael Thomas, Raheem Mostert,
Okay,
Nico
that's fair.
Collins, Rashad Bateman, Traylon
I'll,
Burks,
I'll let you know when I hear one I would take over Dallas.
Devon A. Chain. Uh,
A
um,
Chain was a week one inactive.
I still would have taken him over the Dallas defense at that point.
Oh my god, this is just
I'm not saying right now. I'm saying then.
okay. All right, sure.
Uh, Bigsby was maybe an iffy one. Jacoby Myers, Jamison Williams is a no because of the suspension. AJ Dillon, Quentin Johnston, Zach
So many of those
Charbonnet.
guys to me are like bench stashes, and you hope they're going to be good the back half of the year. Why?
Well,
To,
it's
to
the
me, the
upside.
Cowboys present a weekly benefit of having a defensive advantage over my opponent, where like my defense could literally put up like 20. I feel like in most weeks
But
if things break like the right way.
okay, but what I'm trying to say is like, okay, so you don't take Dallas in the 11th. You take Michael Thomas. And then all these other picks come back and on your way back, even if it's just in the 12th, but I'm saying more of the 13th. You get a Zach Charbonnet or something. And then with your 13th round pick, which San Francisco probably would have still gone off the board first, to Matt because he literally said at the draft that he would not have picked Dallas. You still would have got Dallas, and you would
Maybe,
have those two players added. Would that
maybe,
not look so much better?
maybe. I mean, maybe I would have with the benefit of hindsight, maybe.
I
But
mean,
I mean, now I feel like there's no way this isn't vindicated. There's no way. There's no way
it's
to,
been 1 week.
brother. It was a historically good week for a DST. I mean, like in the schedule. Just, I mean, is there any juicier schedule right now than like the next 2 weeks for the Cowboys? Let me put it that way. Like
No,
the
no, there's
the
not.
Zach Wilson led Jets, and then the Arizona Cardinals. It's. I mean, dude, literally, I don't think I could ask for two better matchups after we
Well, but at
beat
the
up on the
time that you
Giants week
drafted
one.
that, you thought you were going to have the Giants, who, I mean, I personally thought they were going to be a better offense than they showed on Sunday night. I don't know about you.
I mean, so did every Giants fan, though. No, I thought they would be better. I didn't think it would be like that. They
Yeah,
had a lot of additions. I thought they would be better.
you
Brian
and
Dable's a good coach. Usually they play hard.
yeah, you and Tiffany are the diehard Cowboys of the group here, and both of you were shocked by what happened. Well, then you drafted them knowing that they're going to play the Jets week 2, but you thought that was going to be with Aaron Rodgers. So, I mean, initially you would think that that's not the greatest matchup in the world. And
No, week one. I always thought that we would beat up on the Giants to an extent. I thought we would at least have a couple sacks, maybe a turnover or two. I didn't think it would be like that. I'm not saying I called my shot on that, but
yeah, and most of their points probably just came from the 0 points allowed, honestly. But still, a win's a win. Well, you didn't win, but Drake
But
London kind of fucked you over there. But
yeah, he's gonna stay at home. He's gonna be on my bench for a while. He's gonna make himself at home on the pine,
I'm gonna punish him.
riding the pine. Yep.
All right. If you got it all off your chest now.
To the Drake London thing, I'm surprised he like. I don't agree with dropping him, and I wouldn't do it yet. At least, like there would need to be a couple really bad weeks, like week one, obviously where he goosed, for me to like get to that point. But I'm surprised I haven't seen him dropped in more leagues, just because people are so frustrated with the Falcons and like their offense being the same, basically.
So I think after week two, if in like other leagues and stuff, if he puts up maybe like a 2 for 20 game or something like that, that people will drop him, thinking that I I would personally give him like a 4 week leash, just because he's very talented. He was somebody I was going after in the draft.
Yeah,
Um, you know, I know they want to run, but
yeah,
as
big Drake London guy, and it has not
yeah.
it's not worked out.
Well, I wouldn't drop, because if you dropped him right now, I'd put in an offer to pick him up, and he'd
Yeah,
ride my
no,
bench for.
I'm not saying I'm like to the point where I would really like heavily consider it. I'm just saying like other people tilting after week one and like kind of knowing the general like thought process going around the Falcons right now, they don't want to throw the ball to win games. Like
Right.
they that the way they played week one, that's how they want to play. That's how they want to win football games with Arthur Smith.
And I know that too, which is why I'm sad. I got him in your league, but not here. So I wanted the Bijan.
Bijan.
Yeah, it's all right though. Newbie Ryan has Bijan, so
I didn't get him in any league if it makes you feel any better, and I probably like him as much as I like Brees Hall coming in.
yeah, I think you were a little bit higher on him than I was coming in, just because you were talking about taking him uh, earlier than you did it in
Yeah,
yours. So
yeah. I mean, in hindsight, I'm glad I took Tyreek Hill there, but all day Sunday before Tyreek Hill played, I think in the 3 o'clock window, or yeah, he was in the later window.
yeah,
All day after Bijan played, I was telling Eric, well, I was telling one of my friends at work that I wish I would have taken Bijan. I mean, I just couldn't stay. I couldn't live with myself. He looked so good, man.
and
That one
then
little juke sidestep he had to throw that defender on the screen,
right.
dude, it was awesome.
Well, then Tyreek puts up like 40, and
Yeah, he cleansed my palate once he put up like 44 and a half. But
so going into the matchups for this week, how do you think you're going to fare against Kim? She's got the Joe Burrow, who didn't perform last week. Dallas Goddard put up, I think, a 0.
is she planning on starting Kim Akers or?
No, I don't even think she has Cam Akers, which is blasphemous. But
Yeah, I feel like you need to use commissioner tools and put him on her roster.
I should. I need to drop like DeAndre Swift for her and just do her a big old fucking favor and put
So
Cam Akers in.
it looks like she's gonna
Projected to
start.
win.
Well, she's gonna start Dalvin Cook, and so I'm gonna start Brees Hall this week, one way or another. So we'll both be kind of like playing off each other there. Dalvin Cook will probably get more carries, but Brees Hall will probably just be more effective like last week.
Mhm.
Um, sorry, I'm looking at the matchup now. Starting David Montgomery in her flex right now. Man, I hate that she has Amon-Ra St. Brown. I hate that.
Amonra?
Amon-Ra, whatever. Tomato, tomato.
Amonra. I
Fuck
like
off.
it.
But yeah, I don't know. And then she got Saquon going against the Cardinals. That's like a dream matchup.
Uh-huh. That's what I was getting ready to say.
That's gonna hurt.
Yep. I mean, Buffalo's got a good defense too, so they're going up against Vegas. Like, Vegas didn't look amazing last week. I didn't think.
Yeah, I'm looking for a bounce back, and I think I'll get it for the most part.
There's a couple
Uh,
of question marks with Christian Kirk. It looked like Zay Jones might have been the guy. It looked like Calvin Ridley is the guy, and it looks like Christian Kirk's going to be kind of left out in the cold.
yeah, man, there's a lot of Christian Kirk drafters that are pretty shitty about that too.
I, I thought he was going to be the guy. I thought over Calvin Ridley, I thought Christian Kirk was the guy. She draft. I will give Kim credit. She says I never give her fucking credit for anything. I don't know if she did this on accident or purpose, but either way, I'll give her credit. She drafted Zay Jones. and Jacoby Myers, both of which, I mean, Jacoby Myers looks like he's not going to play this week with a concussion, but both of those picks actually look pretty damn good right now. Uh,
Yeah.
Zay Jones is at least worth having on your bench, if not playing, and then Jacoby Myers after this week, if he gets healthy, looks pretty decent. So it's not like she doesn't have a replacement for Christian Kirk. So,
Yeah, and I'll also give Kim a little bit of credit. She's really good at drafting Philadelphia Eagles.
oh yeah, she is the best, hands down, with three on her team. Wait, no, where's the third? Oh yeah, Swift. And then let's see, are you gonna play Richardson or Gino? Give us a spoiler here.
So I think if I had to choose right now, I think Richardson's going to play. Um, of course, this will be Gino's bounce back week if I don't start him. But man, the Seahawks play the Lions, and that might be a higher scoring game too. So I don't really know, man.
Well, see, I go back and forth on it because at first it was Richardson hands down. Then you got to think, okay, he hurt his knee a little bit. Is he not going to run as much this game?
And it happened like on the last play too. That sucked so badly.
Yeah. So he is not there yet as a passer. He's going to be like Lamar from, or not Lamar from last week, Lamar from last season, or 2 seasons ago, where he can't pass worth a shit and is just on running. Or
Yeah, I haven't been.
actually, Justin Fields of this year. He can't
Oh
pass
man,
for shit.
are there any Bears fans in the league?
No, not
I'm a
anymore.
Justin Fields guy, and I loved him coming into the league, but he really hasn't shown anything to like indicate that he's going to be a franchise quarterback yet, man. And I hate that. I love
Yeah.
Justin Fields, but I
Well,
mean, just
see,
nothing. There's been so many reads, especially last week, that he missed that were just wide open. It's unreal.
I drafted him. I've been back and forth. When he was at Ohio State, I was like, yeah, Justin Fields is a shit. He went to the NFL. I was like, okay, he's going to be the biggest bust of this year's draft. And then he started doing what he did, and I was like, okay, I was wrong. So I drafted him, and now it looks like I'm an idiot because all he has is his rushing. So he was terrible at passing last week. I think he got me 18 points. That's not terrible. It's serviceable, but that's not what you want out of your fifth round quarterback. You want the upside. Well, if you can't pass the ball, there's no goddamn upside.
You
So,
know, I've seen it. He finished last year strong. I've seen him go as early as the fourth round too in other drafts, man.
right.
I mean,
Yeah,
there was a lot of hype around Justin Fields coming into the year.
I chose between him and Lamar. Now, granted, so far it looks like it's worked out because Lamar had a shitty week one, but I don't believe it's going to stay that way. I think I made a mistake.
He was also without Mark Andrews. I think he'll bounce back in week 2.
Right. Which, speaking of Mark Andrews, you have Mark Andrews. Hopefully he does play this week for you. Looks
He
like that'll be,
practiced today, I believe.
yeah. And CMC went off last week. Oh, you got Hollywood in there.
Yeah, I was looking for a little more safety. He was the replacement for
Oh, yeah.
Drake London, I believe.
You also have Deontay, who doesn't look like he's. Yeah, I didn't see a whole lot about that injury, but I know it didn't look good.
Yeah, he's going to be out for at least, I would say several weeks most likely, and I wish they would just mark him out so I can get the bench spot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it looks like you're kind of going to that John territory if you're going to have a couple players that you just can't play or are hurt. But
Yeah,
so
I normally wouldn't run a second tight end like this, but until I see the Mark Andrews is practicing in full and playing, I just feel like I need to run with somebody ready to plug in.
yeah, no, I get you. Um, let's go over some other matchups. So me and Matt, just give me your unbiased opinion here. You're not gonna hurt my feelings if you say I'm gonna lose because I probably will. Who you
Give me a
think's
second.
gonna?
I'm going to pull it up here.
Okay. Because I believe this is my starting lineup. I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna change anything about it. Yeah, I'm not going to, unless somebody gets hurt, obviously. He's got Lamar looking for a bounce back. J Jetta.
So I don't want to psych him out about it, but do you think did he flex a tight end last week, or is that new for this week?
I believe that's new. I think he started Zeke last week.
I'm not dogging it. I'm just saying it's not something you typically see. Just
Well, I mean, a little bit of
I
a
get the
spoiler
reasoning.
alert.
I get the reasoning with Higby maybe getting increased target volume with Cup out, but
Yeah. I mean, the Antonio in your league won last year with, fucking three tight ends in his starting roster. So
sure he
he
won with the biggest asterisk ever.
Well, he
Sure.
still won a lot of regular season games, so it can work.
Okay. Well, let's not address that. That's just God. That makes me mad even just thinking about it. But I like you this week. Um, Justin Jefferson will probably get a lot of Darius Slay. He won't
I hope
ever.
so.
I mean, he won't ever be completely eliminated from the. I mean, he's gonna still get his. When I say he'll have maybe a down game, it'll probably be like 7 for 75 and maybe a touchdown. But I feel like that really limits his upside.
I think personally, if I can survive Justin Jefferson and get kind of a very bad week from him, that I will win and I'll be all right. Because nothing else on here is like,
Yeah, I don't love his matchups otherwise.
yeah,
I mean,
it's not that the players are bad. It's just some of the matchups are bad.
Lamar's Lamar's prime for a bounce back spot against the Bengals. Uh, let's see. Then the Dolphins and Jalen Waddle play the Patriots. But I mean, the Patriots usually have a pretty stout defense, and they're pretty good about
And it's projected to
limiting.
be a rainy, gross game, so that usually
Yeah,
means run. ETN against the Chiefs, that might be a little bit more than I'm expecting. Uh, Brian Robinson, Denver, they have a decent defense, and then you got the tight ends.
yeah. I like your. I like a few of your. Like, I don't love Tony Pollard against the Jets. Their defense is really tough, especially with Quentin Williams up front. I like the Olave against Carolina, and then he and Godwin should have a pretty decent week against the Bears too.
Yeah, see, I'm looking for a bounce back for Darren Waller against Arizona. I'm
Hey,
hoping that Fields and DJ Moore. There's been talks. I don't think it's came directly from the Bears. I think it's been like kind of everyone else in the world, but that they need to manufacture DJ Moore some more targets.
yeah, I think he had what 2 week one.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's just pitiful.
yeah.
Oh, hey, is the Austin Eckler owner in this league? How do you feel about the reported or at least possible ankle injury at the end of last week? Was it his
That
ankle? They
I
said he came up gimp a little bit, and
yeah.
he missed practice today.
This is the thing about drafting Austin Eckler. You have to go into it knowing that damn near every week he's going to be a game time decision. And I've been on this boat before and I've been off this boat before. He always performs. Unless it's like a really serious injury, he's always got these little dings and dents in him, and he comes out and he puts up a fucking 20-point week. Is it scary? Oh, hell yeah. But you just gotta put him in your lineup, set it and forget it, and ride it out.
Even during the game, there are some really scary moments where like he'll take like a really hard shot and he'll come out for sometimes even a
Yeah.
driver if not longer. And it's like a really scary moment when Josh Kelly is just the continuously coming in and
Well,
taking those snaps. But
I think it was last year he got fucking destroyed on some hit, and they were like, okay, yeah, he did this. He was out for like 3 drives. They were talking about he's not coming back to the game. He might be out for a while. It was his leg, so it looked pretty gruesome. And then he's back in the game, and nobody ever mentioned it again. And I'm just like, this is just what Austin Eckler is. He's small, he catches a lot of passes, and he gets hit a lot. So, if anybody I think deserves to bring up the moniker of the muscle hamster, it's Austin Eckler. That dude's beefy.
for his sake, maybe he'll finally get paid after this year. Has he ever gotten a big contract? I don't know if he has.
I don't think so. I don't think running backs will ever get decent contracts.
I can't remember if he got paid after he like became the starter once Melvin Gordon got traded. I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, if he did, it wasn't anything to write home about. But
But yeah,
uh,
to answer the overall matchup question, I would favor you in that matchup
see, you're supposed
personally.
to reverse jinx it and say that Matt's supposed to win, so that I can actually win this week.
No, I'm actually trying to do Matt a solid. You're definitely gonna win, bro.
Oh, great, thanks. Anyway, moving on. Big time Bex and John. Uh, so John's team this week doesn't look terrible on paper to me, at least. I don't know if you can still see that or not. Mahomes, Debo, Judy, Najee, uh, Jamal Williams, Kelsey back and
So
healthy.
I've got a question, and it'd be a little easier if John was here to answer himself. He hasn't plugged Puka into his lineup yet.
It's on.
I
It's
don't
on here.
see at
He's in
least.
the flex.
Is he?
Yeah.
Okay. Why don't I see that? Hold on. Okay, I'm looking at the wrong side. Okay, I was like, where's Puka? There's no way he spent 50 fab on him and isn't starting him. Like, That
Well,
would
he
be.
he did spend 30 on Josh Downs for the bench, so it's not an out there question. I
I guess
understand
the
it.
big question is: does Travis Kelsey play this week? Is he okay?
I
He was limited in practice. It looks like today.
I feel like even if that guy is not healthy, they are going to play him because of what happened last week.
Yeah,
The whole world is bought into the asterisk win for the Lions, so the Chiefs are pissed. Travis Kelsey will play. Does he play limited work? I don't know, but I guarantee that dude catches at least one touchdown against Jacksonville. He might have fucking 1 yard, one reception for a touchdown, but it will be a touchdown, guaranteed.
yeah, he should be in for a big comeback game off the one game
And that's the
injury.
and that's the thing that's scary about John's team too. He's got Patrick Mahomes, so when he gets the touchdown points to Travis Kelsey, it's doubled.
Yeah, that stack could really do some damage.
Yeah, if the rest of his team could get healthy, Cup get back, Watson, I don't know what his deal is.
I like. I personally, I think I would go with Ryan Becker. At least that's where I would lean personally in this matchup.
Hmm.
What do you think?
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking the same thing.
I think the
I
Bengals will have a bounce back game in general, and Jamar Chase will get back on track.
Yeah, I think it's definitely not gonna be like it was last week for John. I think it'll be close, but I kind of agree with the projection here that John just loses by a little bit. Uh, I think Jameer Gibbs is about to get a lot more involved too. They saw last week what he can do. I know that David Montgomery got all the touchdowns and everything else, but Jameer Gibbs looked fucking sick. I don't know if you
Man, he
saw
looked
that.
so fast. Every time he touched the ball, it's like he was shot out of a cannon. He looked like a step faster than all the DBs chasing after him. It was crazy.
I thought he looked just as good, if not even better, speed wise and kind of the movements than Bijan. Honestly, maybe it's just because it was a Thursday night and I was hyped, but
I won't even lie. When they drafted him, and I mean, I was the same way with the Falcons drafting Bijan, just because the running back position is so devalued. But I flamed both those picks, and I thought it was the dumbest thing ever. But like now, Jameer Gibbs looks like the truth, man. He looks good.
oh,
Like
I
I wish
was
I had more of him.
I was all in on Jameer Gibbs and got him nowhere.
I only got him in one singular league.
Yeah, I Tim got him. I you can ask Tim. I tried to trade him before he traded him to Ryan, and then after he traded him to Ryan, I was like, okay, there's no way.
I won't lie though, man. Outside of Kyle Pitts, which I didn't touch this year, I was kind of like in the
Oh
same
hell
boat
no.
as you, where I wouldn't. I was willing to be wrong about him if the Falcons and he specifically turned it around, but I was not going to draft him this year.
No.
Like I don't know where he would have to fall for me to have drafted him, but I didn't take him anywhere. And but outside of that, I really like Becker's team, man. I like
I
his team a lot.
Let me put it this way for context. I would have drafted Dallas's defense higher than Kyle Pitts. I don't know
Nice,
if that answers any of your questions on my
nice.
end, but
That's a
just
win.
just to throw that into the for context there.
I'll take it.
So new Ryan versus Tim. Um, I'm gonna go ahead and predict Tim on this one. I've looked at this already. I think Jahan Dotson's projections on here are criminally low, 9.6 against Denver's defense. I know Denver has a decent defense, but I think the coverage is still going to be on Terry McLaurin just because of the perceived wide receiver one, and I think Jahan Dotson's going to fucking eat
Yeah, I
this
could see
game.
that. Tyreek is obviously coming off a week one, which was just silly.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I would also lean Tim. Um,
The Hurts and the Brown stack.
yeah, there are a few things I feel like that are not not trending in new Ryan's direction right now.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Jones came up on that hammy at the end of the game. Obviously, we all saw it when he scored that last touchdown.
Mm.
I mean, it looked like they were stretching him out on the sideline. We'll see if he plays. If he does, the Falcons are, I feel like, a pretty decent matchup to good matchup. But and then also, there was one other player I feel like that was of note or interesting on his side.
CD Lamb against the Jets.
CeeDee Lamb against the Jets should be interesting. I mean, he's probably going to draw Sauce Gardner. So
Yeah, he's going to get sauced.
yeah. So I know he didn't have a big week one, but he's got Damian Pierce on his bench currently. So it looks like
Yeah.
he's gonna. He's I mean he's pretty set at running back, so it's kind of hard to get him in there, I guess, with
See,
Bijan, Aaron Jones, Ken Walker, and Alex Madison though.
I think because he's a Colts fan, he sees the Colts defense against the run as not worthy of playing Damian Pierce. I personally would switch Damian Pierce and Kenneth Walker right there. Um, but you know,
Even off a I guess disappointing week one for Damian Pierce, I feel like I would consider starting him, and I would lean that way. I think too.
that Colts in that Houston game is going to be slow. They're not going to score a lot of points. That means that maybe the Colts don't do it because we don't have one, but they're going to run the ball. The Texans are going to try to control the clock and do all that stuff. So I think Damian Pierce is in for a good one. I'm not saying Kenneth Walker isn't, but I would definitely go that way. So
Hey, while we're talking about this matchup, how did David Njoku do in week one?
I
Did
don't
he
know.
live up
Let's
to the
see.
fifth? Did he live up to the fifth round draft capital?
Oh, no, he had 3 targets, 2 receptions, 24 yards, no touchdowns.
Poor Tim.
Yeah,
Poor Tim.
I liked the David Njoku pick at tight end because there's not a lot of tight ends, but the 5th round was way too
It's funny because
rich.
I actually did like David Njoku coming into the year. I
Yeah,
did. It was not that early, but I did like David Njoku.
well, see if I didn't get in a spot to draft Darren Waller, who was my other tight end that I was targeting heavily. David Njoku was the backup plan, and it was going to be around like 10, 11, 12 range where normally he goes, and that was going to be a good pick there. But he got snagged in the 5th, so
So did we both agree we would lean Tim on that matchup?
yeah, I think we do.
Okay.
And then the last, we already talked about you and Kim. So the last one is my beautiful wife and my beautiful man wife, Lance. Uh, I haven't looked at this one actually, so I'm kind of looking at this at the first time.
Yeah, this is my first time actually checking it out too.
Okay. Ooh, this is rough actually. I I think I have to lean Lance. Yeah, I think I lean Lance. I don't like the Isaiah Pacheco in there, but Garrett Wilson, Nick Chubb. I think Javante's in for a much more heavy workload than he was. He was kind of split with P. Ryan last week. I think that changes quickly. T.
Yeah,
Higgins had
Tegan bounce
nothing
back.
last week. Yeah, he's in for a bounce back.
I'm so conflicted on this, man.
Josh
So
Allen.
Grant Ayuk he looked every. I mean, I feel like on any other team, not any other team, many other teams, he could be a wide receiver one. He looked good last week.
Mm-hmm.
Lockett, I think was he was pretty much non-existent week one, wasn't he?
Yeah. I mean, he had a little bit, I think, but nothing to write home about, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just so conflicted, man.
4 targets, 2 receptions, 10 yards. Nothing.
Yeah, I definitely don't like the Pacheco start. I feel like that's notable.
Yeah,
The Garrett Wilson thing, I love Garrett Wilson so much. It pains me to say this. I just feel like it's not going to be a good week. Like
no.
I feel like if they, I feel like they're going to come in with a game plan of needing to run the ball, because if you watch the first drive the Giants had against the Cowboys, they had success running the ball. The problem is as soon as the Cowboys blocked that field goal and returned it for a touchdown, the Cowboys came out to a pretty big lead soon thereafter, and they couldn't run the ball. They had to pass to keep pace. So I think the game plan for the Jets will probably be to run the ball, to lean on Brees Hall and Dalvin Cook,
Mhm.
and I don't think they want to put it in the hands of Zach Wilson. I think Garrett Wilson's still fine. He's still a good start. You're not going to sit Garrett Wilson, but I don't see it being like a big week for him. I mean, he's going to draw Trevon Diggs. It's the in general, I just don't think it's a good week for him.
Garrett Wilson is that pick this year that, to no fault of his own, is going to be a massive, like, just bust for where you
Yeah,
drafted him.
and it's literally through no fault of his own or not through his own performances.
Yeah, he just has to have Zach Wilson passing him the ball. It's just,
I still think he could finish I still think he definitely could be like top 10, top 12.
oh,
But
I don't know
could
about that.
I think he could. I'm not saying he will, but like the range of outcomes for him is so much more limited now. I don't think he could finish top 6.
I don't think he
I
could
don't think
finish
Zach
top
Wilson.
12 with Zach Wilson. There's no way.
I think the Jets could still be a good team, and I still think they're a great team with Zach Wilson. But Garrett Wilson specifically was so hurt by Aaron Rodgers tearing his Achilles.
Yeah,
I mean, there's nobody that was devastated quite like him.
yeah, and
I,
unfortunately, looking at Lance's team, I mean, T Higgins isn't going to be your wide receiver one. Mike Williams probably isn't going to be your wide receiver one. You're kind of stuck without one now, unfortunately, unless Jamison Williams comes back 6 weeks from now and is balling out of control. But Amonra has something to say about that.
man, just let it go.
But I was also
Fuck you.
noticing though that so he has Mike Williams, but she has Justin Herbert. She has Stephon Diggs, but he has Josh Allen. It's going to be one of those games where you know you're
Which will
hoping.
probably it'll probably lend to a close matchup, to be honest.
Yeah, you're kind of hoping that whenever Josh or she's hoping that whenever Allen throws it, it's to Diggs, and he's hoping that when Herbert does it, it's to Williams. It's one of those games that I fucking personally hate, where you're rooting and for and against your own fucking people to not throw it to a particular person.
Yeah, it's definitely not fun.
So that one's a little harder. I still think Javante is going to make the big difference of this week, and I think T Higgins is going to have a huge bounce back. And I actually also really like the Nick Chubb against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh did not look good. Defensively, they have T.J. Watt and a bunch of trash bins. So I'm leaning Lance. What
Yeah,
do you think?
I guess I'd lean Lance's way, but man, it's close. I don't feel really good about picking either one of them. I feel like it's just a really hard matchup to pick.
Yeah, I don't feel great about it either. But all right, well those are the matchups. These are the standings. New Ryan, Tiff, Matt, myself, and Lance are 1-0. Tim, Ben, Big Time Bex, Kim, and John are 0-1. And we all have our fab except for John. So not a whole lot to do power rankings wise or anything. Week 1, there's no point. It's only been one game. That'll come a little bit later. So thank you, Ben, for coming on.
Hey, there was real quick before we go off, just because I don't think we mentioned it otherwise. I don't think we talked about the J.K. Dobbins injury.
Oh yeah, no, we didn't.
Yeah, man, that's just brutal. I mean, it sucks for Matt because he looks so good, and like as soon as the injury happened, I think a couple snaps later, Justice Hill got into the end zone, and that was one of two scores he had on the day, I think,
Yeah,
which probably would have gone to Dobbins, and it just, I mean, dude, he looks so good. He was that would have been his production, and that sucks, man.
the only saving grace is Dobbins at least had an okay fantasy points before he left. But yeah, that's rough, especially considering that if he didn't make that trade, he'd have Terry McLaurin, and everybody would be laughing their asses off at me instead of having condolences for losing a player.
Sure.
Everybody wanted that to happen. Somehow, narrowly escaped that this year. Thank you, Matt, for he
You know,
reached
it
out.
reminds me of so like you traded him, and then the very next week he obviously
Don't.
catastrophic
I
injury,
know where
right?
you're going. Don't
It
even.
reminds me so much of last year, dude. I literally traded Javante, and like what 2 or 3 days later on Sunday, I mean the catastrophic knee implosion happens, and I mean I came out of it unscathed, but it reminds me of that, man, where these players that we trade back and forth, it's like the very next week, the likelihood of them blowing a knee out is just for some reason super super high.
I thought you were going the Brees Hall thing from last year, where I.
No, see you get what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, literally, was that the same week?
I don't know if it was the same week, but it was.
I feel like it might have been the next week, but it was still
Yeah.
pretty soon thereafter.
Yeah, I trade for Brees Hall to try to turn my team around, and then boom, done for the year. It's
And
it's
I mean,
just
to be fair, I think you would have clearly won that trade. Jonathan Taylor was not good down the stretch for me.
yeah,
I mean, like you would have definitely won that trade if he didn't blow his knee out. So
yep, it just goes to show that you can be the smartest person in the room and take advantage of a dum dum, and that dum dum will still go on and win the championship for the second year in a row.
Exactly. I mean, wait, what?
And to finish on that note, we will see you guys next week. If anybody wants to join in uh, on the podcast or whatever we want to call this show, like Ben did, let me know, and we will gladly get you on here. Any parting words, Ben?
Sleep well, peasants.
All right. I'll see you guys next time.